Hello, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Behind the Small Business Podcast. My name is Kevin D'Andino, and glad to be with you here, guys, today for the first episode of 2026. We got our first ever guest from Texas, Nate Roberts, owner of Practical Metals. Glad to have you here on the show today. Nate, sir, how are you doing, man?
I am absolutely incredible, minus a little cold down here. Your weather is down here in my front yard.
Yep, it sure is. It's been so warm up here in Colorado that I see what you guys are getting down. It's like, send it up here. We'll take it.
Absolutely. You can have it back. Everyone
There
will
you
get
go.
it. Yes, sir.
I don't think many people will be upset by that. Yeah, man. Well, hey, let's jump into this. Go ahead and introduce yourself and then tell us about Practical Metals, man.
Absolutely. First of all, thank you for having me, Kevin. I appreciate the time. Look forward to it. So Practical Metals is a division of Practical Building Systems. My son and I started Practical Building Systems about 3 years ago. We contract and manufacture pre-engineered metal buildings, and Practical Metals is our architectural metals division. So think standing seam roofing, think commercial and residential architectural metals, wall panels, soffit panels, anything that is a single skin metal, not composites. We manufacture and sell in the big town of Crescent, Texas. Yes.
Gotcha. Okay.
So
it looks like you've had lots of experience. It says here 25 years. So I guess the question there is, what made you take that leap of kind of just working in the business to opening your own business?
So I am a serial entrepreneur, but I've been in the commercial roofing and metal building business for 25 years since I got out of the Marine Corps. 2000, I got out. We started a family, and it's kind of funny. My wife was in her third trimester when I got out of the Marine Corps with my business partner, who was my son. And 22 years later, he convinces me to leave my corporate gig and go start doing this for ourselves. And we had a ton of contacts. I mean, 25 years in the business, I've got a ton of contacts of people who buy materials and plenty of opportunity for clients. But I also had developed relationships on the manufacturing side, on the supply side. So it was literally leveraging those things and putting them together where we could go out and support the client, because they aren't being supported. And we've found when you take care of the client that things seem to work out for themselves.
Yeah, no, I think that's a very, very fair thing. I would have thought that, just manufacturing business is not a new thing, right? So I kind of figured that there would be a more common, approach to what you're talking about, so it's kind of weird to hear that it's not normal.
Well, I think we've seen in not only our industry, but in so many industries that, when a company gets to a certain point, the only way that it can continue to grow at the rate that it wants to, whether it's, a publicly traded company, or if it's, private equity who's come in and bought these companies up, the only way they can continue to grow is by buying more companies. And at some point, you're so large as a company that, from my perspective, you lose the view of who the client is and what their needs are. And as we have grown very rapidly, we've hi Bodie. As we've grown rapidly over the last few years, we've realized that keeping focused on our clients and our clients' needs is what's getting us where we want to go and where they want us to go. When we were sitting and trying to decide, the taglines and how we're going to promote, and we said, okay, what are we? And we are a client-focused steel supply company. We're not a roofing supply. Do we supply roofing products? Absolutely. But we're not a roofing supply company. We are a steel supply company. And be that full pre-engineered buildings that my business partner runs the division of, or it's the architectural side where we sell coils and flat sheets and finished panels and trim and accessories and all of those things. We focus on the needs of the client. And something you and I'm sure we'll get into, is the difference between a customer and a client. And
Yeah.
for us, our clients dictate what we do as a business. Customers, not so much so.
Okay. No, let's go ahead and flow right on into that. Kind of expand about, like, what's your approach to that specifically, and how do you differentiate the two within your business?
So every business has customers. Every
Sure.
business has a customer that will buy from you when it's convenient for them, when it's cheap for them, when it's price sensitive for them, when it's everything simple for them.
Mm-hmm.
True clients, which probably 75 to 80% of our business is with repeat clients, people who see the value that we bring to the table. They don't call me and say, hey, how much is this 4x10 sheet? I need 27 of them. And oh, by the way, I'll probably call you later and I'll need 2 more. And you'll have to jump through hoops and I'll want it for the same price. And our clients are contractors and fabricators, small fabricators, that
Yeah.
are in tune with what their workload is. They know what jobs are coming up. They're thinking ahead. If it's an odd color that we may or may not keep, then, we're 3 to 4 weeks out on it, but we have those orders in place so that we can deliver them on time, in time, the way that they expect them. Our clients view us as a buying arm a lot of times. So even if it's not something we manufacture in house, we will source those items for the client because they know we're going to take care of it right. We're going to take care of them. They don't have to shop 17 different places to get the right product. We're going to source responsibly. We're going to source effectively, and we're going to be cost effective to make sure that they're making money.
I think that's a really good point, because what I'm hearing here is your clients are your partners, and they see you as a
Absolutely.
partner. They see someone they can trust. And I would imagine that business owners who maybe have not been around for very long, they're just trying to get the revenue, right? They're trying to stay open. They're trying to stay in business and just sell their product or services, whatever that might be. But to take that step of, I don't want to just make sure I'm selling stuff. I want to make sure I'm partnering. I'm finding these clients that are going to be these repeat people that I can work closely with and make sure that I'm taking care of them. So it sounds to me like that's a huge part of your success.
1000%. We have at this point probably 20 clients that we sell to every month.
Mm-hmm.
And our sales team, our AR team, everyone from production through operations through our driver has a tie with those companies. So when we're interacting, our operations guy, we're making a delivery before the driver goes out. He knows who's on that route, who's in between here and there. Hey, I'm making a run over there. Do you guys need anything? It's the small nuances of knowing your client. And I'd love to have a crystal ball where I always know what they need before they do, but knowing to have that conversation. And it helps us as a business, because if I'm loading a truck, but I've got an extra 3,000 pounds I can put on that truck and I'm passing by a client, if I can put a pallet of material on there that they need, now I'm saving them freight, I'm maximizing our trip. So having partners in the business on the sales side, on the customer side,
Mm-hmm.
for us, it makes all of our customers better. We buy more material, which makes us more price competitive.
Yep.
With most of our competitors are $500 million in revenue every year. And here we are competing with them on the customer service and quality side, and we do it day in and day out, not by selling on price, but by selling on service.
Yeah. A question I want to ask you, maybe from again the perspective of a business owner who maybe feels stagnant, feels like they're not seeing those repeat customers or finding clients. What would be some advice, or based off your experience, how do you make that leap from just getting customers to actually forming clientele?
So I've seen this as a meme a whole lot lately, and one of the
Love a good
things
meme.
that it's easier to turn a customer into a friend than a friend into a customer.
Hmm.
I mean, how many times you're in the insurance business? How many times is a friend calling you, "Hey, I need a discount on this. Hey, I need." First
Yeah.
of all, rule one from me: I don't ask my friends for discounts on what they do for a living. That's how they
No.
support their family. That's how they take care of things.
Right.
But we have developed relationships with our customers, continuing relationships. And the best way to do that is ask. Ask
Right.
your client what they need.
Mm-hmm.
So many people are out to sell a widget. We
Yep.
sell this, buy this, take this. We are continually asking our clients, what's your pain point? People pay money to reduce pain. It's
Fair.
plain and simple. If you want to make money, solve someone's problem. If you want people to like you, sell ice cream.
Right.
If you can solve someone's problem, you can charge whatever you want because it's a problem.
Mm-hmm.
And for us, we are constantly asking our clients, what is your pain point? What causes you so much pain that you don't want to do this anymore? And how do
Mm-hmm.
we alleviate that? And so many of our clients will tell us, well, I'm running around all over the place picking up material. Okay, where are you picking up material that we're not delivering? Oh, well, I'm picking it up right here. Okay, how about this? How about when I'm delivering to your place, I'll stop by there, we'll load that on our trailer, and we'll deliver that for you. Oh,
Mm.
why would you do that? Well, because my goal is eventually for you to buy that product from me.
Right.
And that's how that turns into one and then another and then another. Selling more to the same people is a lot easier than selling the same thing to more people.
Yeah. Well, it sounds like it's definitely something that as a business owner, you have to take yourself out of the moment. You have to take yourself out of what, your current customer base or how many sales you're making in that moment, and think about how can I reach out and plan ahead, and do things like we were talking about, find pain points and have these discussions and then alter what you're doing. I think it could be, and I'm not I don't own a business myself, but I think if I was sitting in a position where I was finding maybe some early success, it'd be tough to think about changing almost right off the bat, right? Or altering what I'm doing to help a future client to set up that long-term relationship. So, yeah, I mean, it kind of seems like it's something that you have to force yourself to look long-term and talk to yourself about, what am I doing here now that I need to alter to meet that future need?
So you're absolutely correct. Here's the beauty of the small business, and we discuss this on a regular basis because we have a lot of partners that are massive companies. I mean, like we talked about, they may be 600, 700, $1 billion a year in revenue, but
Mhm.
they are let's compare them to a shipping. They're a ocean going shipping boat.
Mhm.
Um, anyway, they're a container boat, right?
Sure.
So when a container boat wants to change directions, it takes 300 people, 17 signatures, and no one can make a decision. So you're 6 or 8 weeks down the road before anyone's even entertained hey, can we pivot? But as a small business, we're a speedboat. If my partner and I decide, hey, this client has asked for this, is this something we are willing to do? And I mean, we're going gladiator style, yes or no.
Right.
And when we do that, I don't know how to get across to small businesses, especially small business owners. Everybody thinks that a decision is detrimental. Oh, this decision is going to make or break us. Very seldom does one decision make or break anything, but it will tell you if you're on the right track. And when you've asked a customer and they've said, this is what I need, try it.
Yeah.
Try to remove that pain for them. And if it doesn't work, the only thing that you've failed, because everyone's afraid of failure, right?
Yeah.
The only thing that you've found out is that doesn't work. Now let's try it a different way, or let's try another method to make this happen. And being able to adjust on the fly and be that speedboat surrounded by all these shipping vessels, it's a lot of fun because we can make the decision to do something that will make or break another small business or some large businesses bottom line as well. And as a small business, last year we closed our books just shy of 7.5 million in our second full year of business.
Wow.
And a lot of our clients are much larger than us, but they understand our capabilities in our niche. A lot of our clients are much smaller than us. I mean, some of our vendors are smaller than us at this point. And pairing those together and knowing everyone's, this does go back to the military background, knowing everyone's capabilities and how to take advantage of those for the end client is a superpower. And that's what we maximize and what so many small business owners forget because they get in the minutia and they've been doing it for this long. If you want to get fired, which knock on wood,
yeah,
in the 2.5 years as we've grown, we haven't fired anyone. But I tell people all the time, if you want to get fired, stop thinking, stop trying to do things better. I'd rather you try to do something better and make a mistake and learn from that mistake than to just do the same. Oh, it's the way we've always done it. It's just the way we've always done it.
Complacency.
Unwritten policies.
Yep.
Yeah.
No, I've heard that from several different of our guests before too. It's that complacency thing, and you're open for 10 years, 15 years, and you kind of just get stuck in your ways, right? But it's always good to hear, that kind of advice when you're thinking about, you're a small business, but size doesn't really matter. It's what's your piece of the puzzle, like exactly what you're saying. How do I fit into what my clients need? And I'm not just trying to sell things to keep my business afloat, but I'm trying to build something for the long term that's going to be successful 5-10 years from now. But it does take taking those risks, right? And saying like, hey, I'm going to try this. And if it doesn't work, what can I learn from it? How can I use what I learned to improve the next go around? So that's a very solid piece of advice right there, man.
Well, thank you. And it's so very true. People, business owners, non-business owners, we all get hung up on the, what door am I going to go through? Well, the plus to doors is they may close, but they're designed to open back up. If you don't like which direction, what door you opened, walk back out it and try another one.
Yeah.
There's a term that I use regularly. Well, we've been going down this path and we've been working on this project and we've got X amount of money and time invested in it. And at some point you come to the realization that this isn't going to work. But someone on the team will always say, oh, no. If we just do this, if we just pile this into it, The Concorde. Are you old enough to remember the
Yep.
Concorde?
Oh yeah. Yep.
That is the largest example of sunk cost bias ever done. What did the
Yeah.
British government? Oh, this isn't going to work. It's never going to work. Well, let's throw some more money at it and see if it'll work. No, it's not going to work. Cut your losses and move on. But,
Yeah.
it comes back to people who get attached to things. Well, I paid $35 for this. If I'm going to get rid of it, I want $35 for it. Well, guess what? It's worth 12. Either hold on to it or take the $12 and move on.
Right.
And those things will hamstring a business and a business owner. And when you start dealing with, sunk cost bias, we have to deal with that with inventory all the time. I've been sitting on this inventory. It's been here for 90 or 120 days. I'm going to take a 5% loss. I'm going to move it. I'm going to recoup 95% of my money to put back into something that I can sell.
Right.
So,
and it goes back to that being afraid to admit failure. I think, hey, I bought this, I planned on using it, or I planned on it selling or whatever, but maybe having a problem or difficulty with admitting that you made a mistake in it. Right. And now you're like, oh, well, I don't want to lose money. Yeah. Why not reinvest that back into your business versus having it just sit there? And I think these are the little things that maybe newer business owners don't take into account when they're going through this, because they're so afraid of, like you said, oh, if I make one mistake, I'm going to be done, or, just a couple of mistakes and this is going to be all for naught. Oh, that you don't, if you're thinking in that way, then maybe, right, you're kind of setting yourself up for failure right off the bat there. But if you're okay with saying, hey, I tried it, didn't work, and let's readjust, man, that's how you're going to stay alive.
And it's not just the owners. It's every employee that comes to work there as well. Mm-hmm. I gave a speech to the first non-family employee that came to work for us. I give the same speech now that I'm not the one doing all the hiring. And when they come through my office, I preach to them. You're going to do something that costs this company money. Two things. One, let's try and minimize what that cost is.
Sure.
And two, let's not cost the company the same money for the same mistake twice. Beyond that, if you're not doing things that end up costing us a little money somehow, you're not trying to do anything.
Right.
I make mistakes. My business partner makes mistakes. We all make mistakes that cost us. They either cost us profit or they cost us legitimate revenue.
Yeah.
And it is what it is. And if you dwell on those things, I made a mistake last year that ended up costing us $60,000, which it is what it is. And I can beat myself up about it. I can pound my head into the wall. But at the end of the day, it's easiest just to put my hat back on and go back and sell something else and make it up.
Yeah, I like it, man. Good advice there I'm hearing. And you kind of mentioned it earlier. I want to make sure we had time to bring this up too, because talking before the recording here, you being a Marine, a veteran. Mm-hmm. So first off, thank you for your service.
To you as well, my friend.
Well, thank you very much, sir. But I think we have a unique vantage point having that military experience behind us, right? And it's just something that the vast majority of civilians in America just don't have. So what's been your approach to bringing that experience into your business there? And kind of what advice would you have to just somebody who didn't serve that could maybe benefit from your experiences?
So, as a matter of fact, I was on another podcast the other day and we got into this subject. Let me first, as I delved into that, I've had some conversations with some really incredible people that know a whole lot more about business than I do. And the only organized groups that kind of relate to that are a lot of athletes, believe it or not, They learn that same teamwork. They learn that same leadership. They learn those skill sets of how to work with other people and how to go compete and how to have a short memory. For guys like you and I, we had to have a short memory because whatever bad just happened, I've got to push through and move on to the next mission.
Yep.
For athletes, our son, my business partner, he was a baseball player, and you don't go to play college baseball at any level without having a short memory, some leadership skills, and knowing how to work as a part of a team. So the two of us are pretty much always on the same page, and those skills can be developed. They're just naturally developed in those people who have spent time in the military, or those people who have, been a part of athletics at any reasonably high level. And those skills are intangible. The ability to communicate what you're trying to get across to employees, customers, vendors, negotiating skills. You don't think about it, but we negotiate every day of our life. And if you're not negotiating, you're losing out because some people hate to negotiate. Just tell me what it is and I'll decide yes or no. But those skills that come from inherently we veterans and those athletes that have competed at such a high level, you just can't replace those. Yeah. You can't duplicate those easily. There are some people that are, non-athlete civilians that have those traits, but inherently those two groups of people absolutely understand those things. And I would never say, that I look for people like that, athletes and veterans, but you gravitate toward them because those are the skills you're looking for. So it's the chicken or the egg. I'm looking for the skills. It just so happens that probably 75% of the people with those skills have one of those two things in common.
So, right. That's fair.
I hope that answers your question.
No, it does. And I think it ties back to what we were talking about earlier, too, in terms of making mistakes, taking risks, right? Obviously a big football guy, as you can tell behind me. How many times are we watching football and they're talking about the quarterback having a short-term memory, right? Oh, he threw an interception, and it's either one of the two. It's either, he's going to be, messed up and he's going to be shaken for the rest of the game, or, this guy has a short-term memory. He'll be just fine. He'll bounce back. It's like, which kind of person and which kind of business owner do you want to be in life? Are you going to be the type of person that makes a mistake, throws an interception, now you're down the rest of the game? Or are you going to say, you brush yourself off and say, yep, got it, I'm going to learn from it, and instantly move on?
Oh, yeah. No, you've got to reevaluate, right? You've got to reevaluate and take a moment, but that moment doesn't have to be long-lived. You've got to evaluate whether it's an athlete or whether it's a business owner. Evaluate what happened so that you don't make the same mistake again, and then move on quickly, period.
Yep.
Yes, sir. Absolutely.
One of the last things I want to wrap this up with, Nate, is kind of just, again, any kind of advice that you have for a business owner, maybe, somebody who's struggling, somebody who's new to the game, right? And maybe just really excited about starting off in their first adventure, their first entrepreneurial experiment there. As you have a lot of experience there, and it says, sounds like you've had multiple experiences in that. So maybe another episode down the line, just talk about previous stuff prior to what you're doing now. But, what else would you say to somebody out there who's like, hey, I want to start a business, or I've just started, and, kind of getting going?
If you do not digest information related to business, information related to your industry, information related to just the basics of how to operate, you're setting yourself up for failure. I am a serial entrepreneur. I didn't start reading until about a decade ago. And I mean heavily reading. I think last year I read 16 books, which for me, for an old jarhead, crayon eater, and
I wasn't
I
going to say
joke.
it.
But for me, that's every year I read more and more, and I say read, I audible.
Mhm.
If you're an entrepreneur, chances are you spend a lot of time in a vehicle. Um, I audible every book that I've listened to or that I've digested for probably the last decade. And the information that is out there that you used to have to my degree's in computer science and
Mhm.
from 1996 when I graduated, and it was useless the day I was done with it in computers. But the ability to digest, and for me, going from a really good salesperson to business owner and now CEO of the business and running the business, had I not self-educated and taken the time, I still do every day. I audible or listen to audiobooks that are teaching me how to do what I'm doing for the business, because now I've got 13 today, 13 tomorrow, maybe 18 people who rely on me to run this business in a responsible fashion, not willy-nilly, not by the seat of my pants, not for my business partner and I to go on trips and buy Lamborghinis and all of the things that you see on social media, but to put our head down and build a business that everyone who works for us can be proud of.
Yeah.
Information and knowledge has never been more readily available, and yet fewer and fewer people take advantage of it. It's
Mm.
never. I think it's an Alex Ramosi quote, or it may him or Dan Martell. I can't remember, but one of them said, "It's never been easier to do absolutely nothing and survive, and it's also never been easier to do small things and be utterly successful because no one else is doing it. No one else is
Yep.
putting in the work." And man, with the information that's out there today and as readily accessible as it is, I mean, podcasts like this and um, YouTube, I mean, you name it. If you want to learn about business, there's never been access to the information that's out there today. Go digest all of it that you possibly can. That's my,
Yeah.
if I'm recommending anything to people that are trying to do this, especially for the first time, you know, go listen, go read, go watch, just
Right.
digest that information, turn off Netflix, turn off, Amazon Prime or whatever, and go digest that information so that you are the most educated person in the room.
Yep. And I think that goes for anybody.
Yeah.
Nobody knows it all, right? It
Nope.
doesn't matter if your business has been open for 25 years. There's something you can do to improve. There's something somebody out there has done and tried that you could benefit from, or done and failed from, that you
Oh
could
yeah.
benefit from learning, right? So yeah, don't get complacent. Keep grinding. I really like that, man. That's well said.
Thank you.
So
Absolutely.
Nate, man, it's been an absolute pleasure having you on today. I think you have a lot of great things to say. It's really good to just kind of hear that, after your second year of business, you guys are doing really well. And it sounds like you have a very good strategy behind it. It's not just instant success or beginner's luck or anything. And so I definitely want to have you on again later down the line to kind of talk through some more things and maybe some past experiences as well. But man, just best of luck to you. And I definitely appreciate all of your insights today, man.
Kevin, I appreciate the time, and the next time we get together, let's talk about that. Let's talk about running a business versus working in a business.
That's a good one. Let's do that. Stick
Thanks.
around, guys. We'll definitely talk about that next time. But we'll end this show today really quickly on a quick reminder that the show is brought to you by Centennial State Insurance Agency. your go-to for all your insurance needs, mostly based out of Colorado and Arizona as well. If you're looking for any kind of policy, personal or business, reach out to us at 303-838-0554, and we'd be more than happy to take care of you. But again, once again, Nate, thank you very much for your time today. Definitely appreciate having you on as a guest.
My pleasure, Kevin. Thanks, buddy.
Awesome. You all take care, and we will see you next time on another episode of Behind the Small Business. Take care, everyone.